What's up, Grace Girls? Welcome to the Allow Yourself Grace podcast, where we focus on helping Black women change their lives by discarding negative thoughts, pivoting in the right direction, and shifting their mindset through cultivating a trauma free lifestyle. I'm your host, Courtney Christten, educator, content creator, life coach, counselor, and mental health enthusiast living in Houston, Texas. I created the Allow Yourself Grace podcast because I wanted to create a space for Black women to share their thoughts, feelings, and stories that make them who they are without fear of judgment. Allow Yourself Grace provides emotional support and encouragement within the Grace Girls community for women in need of non biased opinions from women other than family and friends. Personal development, self care, career, faith are among many of the topics we will discuss on this platform. Allow Yourself Grace podcast is here to encourage Black women to live unapologetically and thrive in being authentically who they are and were designed to be, an entire vibe. No topics are off limits. We will cover it all. Now, grab a notebook, pen, sit back, and enjoy the show. What's up? What's up, Grace Girls? Welcome back to another episode of the Allow Yourself Grace podcast, y'all. So, I just did an episode last week, and the week before that, I didn't release an episode, and your girl was a little rusty. But if you're new to the podcast, my name is Courtney. I'm your host. And, on this podcast, we really help women learn how to change, pivot, and shift their lives in a new direction. And so that's what the Allow Yourself Grace po- podcast is all about. And so I'm super excited to be on another episode by myself. Usually I finish the season out by myself. So yeah, I love that. I love that because I really get to see what you guys like. If you like me being solo, if you kind of like having the guests. And so what I've seen from looking at everything and getting feedback from you guys is that you like the mixture of both. And so we're gonna keep giving you both. And I'm so happy that you guys love me by myself. I love that. I love that. Because that really, really just pushes me and motivates me to just continue to be great and also to continue to bring other great women on this platform that can really encourage you guys. And sometimes um I bring on women who are experts in certain areas that I may not be in because I want to provide a variety of information for you guys. But I'm excited about today's topic. But before we get into the episode, I want to, first of all, tell you the name of the episode, what we're going to be talking about today. Why disappointments are a gift from God. I know, sounds kind of crazy. We're going to get into it, ladies. I have a quote. Have a quote of the day. So the quote is, when you have expectations, you are setting yourself up for disappointment. When you have expectations, you are setting yourself up for disappointment. Wow. When I read that quote, I was like, oh, wow, that's heavy. That's heavy because we all have expectations on how we think we should be, what we think we should be. We have all these standards and things for ourselves, which is great. But with that, we have to know that disappointment is going to come and, it's just inevitable. So let's get into it. So the first point that I had when I was thinking about this topic is disappointment can help us each identify our idols and the things we have been trusting in or valuing above God. And it's crazy because that point is definitely on point because it's in the moments of disappointment that you really start to see what you were really valuing. So when you lose something, for sure. So say you got your dream home and you ended up losing your dream home and it's like
wow, you're devastated, you're upset with God, you're mad at everybody. And it's like, wow, all these things meant more to me than my relationship with God, because immediately when I lost it, who did I go off on? I started to question him. I started to ask why. You start to, like, you know, be all in your feelings and have an attitude. And it's like we put our trust and our value into some things that aren't, I'm not gonna say aren't, some things that we shouldn't. Let's say that, because we value materialistic things. Sometimes we put those things over our relationship with God. But you have to know that anytime that you work for something, anytime that you put in work, it's a possibility that you can be disappointed, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's something that you've done to cause the disappointment. It can happen. And so I think we have to prepare ourselves, and we have to know in our minds that at some point in life, I'm going to be disappointed. And I think growing up as a kid, like, these are things that, nobody teaches you. Nobody braces you for the disappointment. Everybody says, "Oh, grow up, go to college, get a great job, and live a great life." So you grow up thinking that's all you got to do. When in reality, the moment you set those goals and the moments you have those expectations, that's the moment that you have to know that disappointment has been invited into your life, and that one day you may have to face it. And it's your first disappointment. It's like the whole world is ending. But I think as you grow older, hopefully you grow a little bit wiser. You start to know that, hmm, okay, I've been disappointed. What's my plan? How am I going to deal with it? How am I going to get through it? We all handle disappointment differently. Um, the next point, what does God say about disappointment? Because, like I said earlier, people always question God. Like, that's immediately like, God, why is this happening to me? That's not fair. Life is not fair. You're looking at everybody else's life and you're wondering, like, why they have these things and you don't, and why they're in a certain place that you're not. But he says, be content with what you have. For he has said, I will never fail you nor forsake you. That's Hebrews 13-5. The word contentment derives from a Latin word, con, meaning to hold together. When you have faith in God, your mind will hold together. Wow. Wow. So, when I meet people who say, man, I can't get out of my head, man, I don't understand why my life is going this way, man, I don't know what I'm going to do, man, things just aren't working out for me, man, girl, I mean, I'm struggling. I hear you. I hear you. And your feelings are valid, but where is your faith? Where is your faith? Anytime that you are facing disappointment, you need faith. You need faith. If you don't have faith, you're not going to get through it, because guess what? You've already made up in your mind that I'm not going to get through this, that the world is ending, that this is the end of the world and I'm done and my life is over because I had this one thing that didn't go right. Honey, you're not the first person that didn't have something to go right. And that's another thing. I need us to get out of this mindset that when we go through something that we're the only ones going through it because somebody else looks great on the outside or they're just continuing their daily lives. No, baby, they have faith. Where is yours? And so you lack that faith. And then you have the audacity to question somebody else's happiness in the way their life is going. That's not fair. That's not fair. All you got to do is get you a little faith, continue to push through and continue to draw from the source. And we talked about that on the last episode. The source you need to plug into, because what you plug into is what gives you energy and what feeds you. So, what are you plugging into? Right? What are you plugging into? Are you around people who don't have faith? Are you around people that don't know how to fight the devil? That don't know how to go to war for you? That don't know how to pray? Like these are things you have to look at when you're facing disappointment. It's like, do I have what I need to get through this? Do I have a circle of people around me that are going to help me navigate this situation if I can't do it on my own? Like, do I trust them enough to give me valid, sound advice and a plan? Or even if it's financially, can I lean on them? Can I call them if I really, really needed it? Not that you are, because you may be like me and you don't want to call nobody. I mean, y'all know I talked about this. I almost went viral. I almost went viral with that. But it's like, you don't want to call anybody. Cool. But if you needed to, can you call them? Like, my husband always throws, we talked about this morning, he throws the word friend around, y'all. He's like, oh, that's your friend. That's your friend. I'm like, no, you have to be careful with the word friend. Yes, I make new friends. Great. But what I'm saying is my friends, my real friends, if I need something and I've been in a situation where I needed them and they were there. So I know, like, if I really, really needed them, I could call them and be like, hey, look, this is happening. Can you help me? Cool. Where you at? What you need? Like, I have those type of friends if I really need them. And so I think we all need those people around us that can pour into us, that can give us some energy when we need it, that can give us some advice when we need it, that can maybe even help you financially. I didn't say you using them. I said them helping you when you really, really needed it, but not consistently, right? Because we got to get out of this thinking that because somebody doesn't consistently help you over and over and over, that they're a bad friend, because that's not the case. It's like, okay, once I plug into you, I pour into you, you plugged into me, right? And I'm giving you some of what I have. What are you going to do with it? How are you going to take it and multiply it? How are you going to take it and apply it to your life? How are you going to take this and be like, okay, I need to go make sure I get this amount of money and I need to make sure I get enough so I can pay them back, or so that I can return the favor if needed one day. That's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. Like, make sure that you're not lacking faith and you're not around people who lack faith and you're not around people who scared to fight. Who, and I'm not talking about just getting into a fight on the street, but I'm talking about that too, because you need some riders. But anyway, that's neither here or there. But you need some people who are not afraid to get in the trenches with you and be like, hey, I got you. We in this mud, but I got you. And so that's what we lack. That's what we lack. But we're quick to say, like, oh, well, I don't have any friends. Nobody is helping me. Nobody is true to their word. People aren't who they say they are, all these things. But it's like, are you who you say you are? Do you have enough faith to believe that you can have a circle of people around you that can pour into you? Are you just like, "Oh, no, nobody can pour into me. I'm out here by myself." Well, if you are, then there could be a reason why you out there by yourself, because you've been disappointed, and you've been disappointed and you didn't know how to navigate that disappointment because, number 1, you lacked faith. Number 2, you didn't have those people around you, probably because of something that you did. And so the accountability piece is missing. And so I always come off as blunt, harsh, all those things. But what I'm saying is, when are we going to start taking accountability for our actions and the role that we play in disappointment? When are we going to start taking our accountability? Like, when are we going to take it? And I say that disappointment is a gift from God because it's in those moments that we learn the most. And so those lessons are gifts because those lessons are going to teach you how to navigate different areas of your life as you start to encounter different things, as you get to new levels, as you meet new people. And so God is just preparing you for what he knows is ahead of you because you don't know what's ahead of you. You can plan all day, but you don't know what's ahead of you. And so sometimes God is delaying things and he's denying things because, I mean, he's delaying things for the moment and you feel like you're being denied and you're really not. It's just that it's not the right time for it. You're just disappointed because it didn't happen on your time. That's where disappointment comes in, is because something's not going the way we think it should go at that moment because we're entitled, and Americans are the worst. Like, we are the worst. We have so much access to so many things that we feel like everything should go our way all the time. And that's just not realistic. And when we sit back and we think about how selfish we are, and that's the thing, y'all need to take time to think about how selfish you are because then you'll start to take accountability like, man, I really just need to stop. I really need to stop because this is ridiculous. But unfortunately, there's people in their 50s and 60s that they're never going to take accountability. It's always like, oh, well, it's this person's fault. Oh, well, if this would have went right in my life, then I would be here. Or if I would have had my dad in my life, I would have been like this. Or if my mama wouldn't have left me, I would have been like this. No, because at some point you have to take ownership for your life and you have to tap into the source that you have access to. And that is what we're missing. It's like people are here and they're walking around on medication and they depressed and all these things are going on. And it's like, man, if you would only tap into the right source, then will you see the full fruition of your life. Like everything will start to just make sense. And, it's mind-boggling to me that there's so many people that are suffering in silence because they won't plug into the source and they miss it. And so instead of knowing and learning that disappointment is a gift, they stay in the phase of disappointment. They just linger there. And it's like every time somebody call you, you tell them the same thing. It can be 3 months later, a year later. It's the same thing that you're telling them. And it's like, dude, when are you going to plug into the source? When are you going to access everything that's available to you? When? We walk around here like God is just supposed to pop us upside our head and be like, it's right here. But all along, he's teaching you, he's giving you signs, but that doesn't mean that you're learning. It's kind of like a teacher standing in front of the class. Like, she prepared her lesson plan. She did it 2 weeks early. She went over the curriculum. She did the example. She gave you one-on-one time. She worked out the problem for you, all this good stuff. And when you get your own problem, you like, I don't know what to do. I don't get it. Because you weren't paying attention. You weren't you weren't soaking up the information. You was looking around, you was thinking about other stuff. That's kind of how God works. Like, y'all literally, God will slap you beside your head with the information. He'll put it in front of your face and you just be like, I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't know how to do this. When you're equipped with everything that you need, he's already given it to you. When you gonna plug in? And so we're in the fourth quarter of the year. And ladies, and I do have some gentlemen who watch this podcast, which is great. But what I'm asking you is, when are you going to going to plug in to the source? And when are you going to access everything that's available to you? When? There's resources available to you. And if this message is over your head, DM me, we can talk about it. Leave me a comment, I'll respond. But I really need y'all to tap in. Like 2023 has been a weird year. I don't know about for y'all, but it's been a little weird. There's been some great things that happen, but it still feels a little odd. And so I don't know what God is doing in this season, but I need you to plant your seed now because it's harvest season. And so plant your seed now. Let's plug in now. Let's plant the seed and let's start to really cultivate our seeds, getting ready to move into 2024. Let's finish the year strong. Let's execute. We talked about this last episode too, like execute. Let's get it done. Let's take some action. Some of y'all been depressed all year, and I'm in the mental health field, so don't come for me in the comments about mental health because mental health is real. But what I'm saying is a lot of you guys are using it as a crutch. You know, you're using it as an excuse. You're blaming everything for your problems. You're blaming everybody for your problems. And it's like, no, it's you. You haven't accessed what you need to access because you don't want to. You want to throw a pity party. You want everybody to feel sorry for you. You want everybody to help you because woe is me, right? That's where you are. And that's where the accountability piece comes in because now, okay, yeah, she just wore me out. So now I got to take accountability. Like, dang, she really just caught me out. And I did because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it, y'all. Sometimes your strong friends don't have no more to give you. Like they've been pouring into you, and you just keep coming back instead of taking what they give you and cultivating it and multiplying it and then giving it back. But y'all don't do that. Everybody just want to take and take and take and take. And it's like at some point the battery's gonna be drained, sis. It's gone. And you can't just blame people for not wanting to help you anymore. Okay? Because you didn't drain all the energy out of them and they need some for themselves. And, you know, we have to stop. Like, we have to stop. We're doing it to our families. We're doing it to our friends. Some of y'all are even doing it to your kids. Like, you so bad, you don't even got nothing to give them. And poor babies didn't even ask to be here. And they already know that you got money problems, that you got relationship problems. Like, come on, y'all. That's a lot to put on a child. And if you're doing it, stop. Because now you got to tap into you. You got to access what's available to you. So, when are you going to plug in? I think I'm going to change the name of this episode now that I just got into it. Y'all see, I put my phone down. But when I got into the episode, because it's like, this has been on my heart. It's been on my heart because I'm just walking around. I'm going to different places. I'm looking around. I'm observing. I'm seeing stuff online. And it's like, wow, people really don't understand the magnitude of what they have access to. They don't understand it. They missing it. Y'all are missing it. And it's like and like I said, I'm gonna use the analogy of a teacher again. It's like being in front of the class and giving the class all you got. And I've been there. And teachers, if you're watching, you can agree. And you got that one student that turns in that exit ticket when it's time to go, and you like, dang, they ain't listen to nothing that I said today. That's how God feels. God feels like, man, I didn't put you through all these tests. I didn't showed you over and over again that I am who I say I am and that I can give you what you need, and you still won't access it. You still won't put in the effort to learn. You still won't put in the effort to grow, and you won't even plant. You won't even put the seed in the ground because you want somebody to do it for you. And that is just mind boggling to me. And, you know, for me moving into the new year, it's just that I don't want to be around people who can't fertilize my seed. I know, write that down. I don't want to be around people who can't fertilize my seed. And I definitely don't want to be around people who aren't plugged in, period. If you want to half do stuff, you want to half listen, you know, you want to take bits and pieces of the word, you want to, half step. Sorry, that's not what I do. And I don't want to be around you. You want to cut corners. You want to look good online, but deep down, it ain't it. And the last thing I'm going to hit before this episode is over is some of you are in the space of disappointment when it comes to, and I don't know why this just came to me, and I don't know who this is for. Some of you are in the space of disappointment when it comes to your business adventures, when it comes to ideas, when it comes to scaling your business, when it comes to putting yourself out there, whatever you're doing, where you're going for that promotion. It's like you're in the position that you're in because you fail to see what's in front of you. You're ignoring it. You know what you need to do, but you don't want to do it. And you keep trying to finesse. You keep trying to finesse. And finesse is only going to get you so far because you will be exposed. And a lot of y'all already have, and you're still trying to cover it up. You're gonna be exposed. And so my suggestion to you is to just plug in, put that seed in the ground, and cultivate means doing the work. Like I'm nurturing this thing. I'm not trying to do everything. I'm not trying to get it all at one time, but I'm working and I'm cultivating it. And every day I'm fertilizing it, and I got people around me that are putting fertilizer on it. And wow, that thing's gonna be a beautiful flower. That's what I need. I need you to focus on that because a lot of y'all out here, y'all tripping and it's going to be exposed. That's why you're not growing. I've gotten that question several times. People are like, man, I don't know what to do to grow my business. I don't know. It's not moving. What I'm trying to do is not growing. It's not this. It's not that. And it's like, wow, how much are you putting into it? And some of y'all are putting into it. You got a really pretty band-aid on it. But let's dive into what's underneath that band-aid. Is it an open wound? Is it a sore? What's going on? Like, let's heal it from the inside because it looks good on the outside, but something's going on the inside. Like maybe there's no systems and processes. Maybe you're not showing up enough for other people. You want people to show up for you, but you're not showing up enough for them. You're not getting out there. And another reason why a lot of you aren't getting out there is because you don't want to pay for nothing. It's like you want everything for free. If you really want to plug into the source, it's going to cost you. Like it's going to cost you something, whether it's your time, whether it's your money. It's going to cost you something. And so we keep trying to take the easy way out of things, but it's leading to dead ends that don't got no energy. Like stop doing that. And just do it the right way so that you can access what you need to access. Make the investment. If it takes an investment, make it. That's sowing a seed. Like, do the things that you need to do so that your business can grow and so that you can grow. Because I don't want to hear it no more. Take it, and I'm sure God's tired of hearing it too, because He already know. He already know before you ask. So you don't gotta tell me. Tell Him. He already know. That's it. Cause I'm tired, y'all. I know y'all tired. That's why I gotta stay plugged in. I have to stay plugged in because I refuse to be around people who are just draining and sucking me dry. I gotta stay plugged in, protect your energy, protect your environment, and know when people don't have the right intentions. Like, pay attention to what's going on out here. And lastly, remember to take accountability for your part. Take accountability for your part and repent and move on. Don't stay there. We can't stay in disappointment. That's not what disappointment is for. The gift is for you to learn a lesson and for you to move on and stay plugged into what gives you energy, what gives you motivation, what gives you strength. Those things. All right, guys, that's the end of this episode. I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. I thank you guys so much for supporting. If you guys aren't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, go ahead and go to Allow Yourself Grace podcast on YouTube. I'm also on Spotify. I will be on Apple very, very soon. It's coming soon. I know a couple of you have asked me about it. It is definitely coming, and I will definitely let you guys know when those episodes will be uploaded. But until then, make sure that you're downloading it. Even if you watch the video, go and download the episode. Okay. Just still download the episode. You don't have to listen to it. But if you are in your car and you like to listen to podcasts, make sure that you put me on your playlist and that you're, tapped in. Also, go follow me on IG, AYG _ Yourself Grace podcast. There's a lot of good things over there, like clips and stuff and all that good stuff. I share things on that page. I'm going to start posting more so you guys can kind of keep up with me on a daily. But yeah, if you have any questions, concerns, please feel free to reach out. Please feel free to comment under the video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you're watching it. And don't forget to follow if you're listening. Until next time, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Well, guys, that concludes our episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Allow Yourself Grace podcast. For additional information about today's episode, please click the link in the show notes below. To learn more about our Grace Girls community and other resources we have to offer, head over to www.allowyourselfgrace.com. Until next time, Grace Girls, I love you all, be blessed, and continue to strive for success.